So, welcome to the parish meeting and the new venue. It's the Turton Pavilion, which I have to say I'm quite impressed with, especially with the shutters up. So, kick off. So we have item number 1, apologies for absence. So we've had apologies from Simon at the last meeting. He's doing his Duke of Edinburgh, and from Chris, who has some sickness in the family. So they won't be joining us. Next item is to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, which you've all had in the slides. Does anyone have any comments on that?
Yeah, item should be K Hague, not Parkinson.
Oh, I know. It's bad, isn't it? Been married for ages. Did I do that on the minutes as well?
Yes, you did. On the minutes, June meeting, you actually said in the...
Sorry, I did it on this month's agenda as well.
On this month's agenda as well.
And the fact she's married.
Okay. Anyone else got anything else? So I just said one thing on the planning matters that we show around. So it was actually that we didn't make an objection because we weren't consulted and we didn't have time to make an objection. Focus, people. Right, so and it was that we didn't have time, we weren't consulted and there was no time to make an objection even if we wanted to. It wasn't a meeting to discuss it at. It's slightly different from no objections. That was my only point on that. Okay, any matters arising from the previous meeting? No? Good. So update on the list of the chair. So my plan is to try and be more narrative based than numbers based, because numbers work for me but they don't work for anyone else. So things I think are to be commended is we've actually had £350 worth of sales of the village hall, so higher.
How much?
£350 in the last month. So thank you, Lorraine. Obviously we've all seen the roof is on the way, which is good. And we are making progress with the yellow lines. We had 2 very good drop-in sessions in this very room, and we're just in the process of trying to get a date out of our friends at Cheshire East. But we now know who's the person in the chair, so we know who to talk to. We've also had a very good meeting on the public space protection order with Cheshire East, and Nick will update us up on that. Update on Park Safe. So I know we've all had problems reporting antisocial parking. Yeah. So after a conversation with Nick, who obviously read the instructions, unlike me, didn't. If you ignore the questions it asks you and you look at the first page, it tells you how to report antisocial parking.
Yeah. So
you have to just read that bit, and if you do that, I did it the other day, it does work.
Oh, it does work. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
So.
So will we put some instructions on the Facebook and website and things?
Yeah, on the original post I did put a thing on there saying I copied them and put them on, but I will, when I get a second, put a unique post up saying this is how we do it. But that would, and that would certainly help the police, because then they can ticket from those pictures as long as the pictures are competent, and they are going to come down and show us how to make sure they're competent. So that's a good update. I'm glad to report that the defibrillator batteries have been found and installed. So we just need to update the emergency services record to show that they're operational. There was an issue with the letters from the bank, which has been followed up with. So it appears to be a glitch with Unity Bank, and anyone who was a signatory, if a new account is opened, is sent a letter. But there is no chance that that person could ever get anywhere near our money. So that's a good update. And the only other thing is I continue to regularly talk to the man with the fence. I have to say he's now ghosting me, so it may well be that we'll need to take some advice on our next action. So I think I would probably put that on as an agenda item for next month, so we can discuss how we want to go forward with that. But I think,
Sure.
we've given them plenty of time. So that was my narrative on what we've achieved this month, making progress. Declaration of interests. So financial or otherwise, an item on the agenda. No. The only one I'd make is that I do know the person that raised the money for the cones. So I will declare that. Okay, nice to see members of the public here in our new surroundings. Does anyone want to talk or raise anything? We have 15 minutes. We have 3 minutes each. But
All right. Yellow lines, I just wonder what the timeline is for this. We've had, the kind of walk-in, and we've got feedback from residents, and that, presumably that's now been compiled, and I don't know if you can draw any conclusions from it. And what are the next steps now?
Okay, so, obviously, as I said last time, we are the decision makers here, Cheshire East decision makers, so we have collected all the information. I mean, interestingly, I think for most roads, most of the people were in concert on it. Everyone seemed to have the same opinion, so depending on which road you were. There were some people that were, the opposite, but so we've got that information. We should get a meeting with Cheshire East around about the 15th of the month.
Okay.
That's our plan, where we will tell them what the residents have told us, and hopefully they will share with us their fantastic up-to-date drawing of what they are thinking. After that point, they have to have a consultation, so the village will get a second opportunity to make specific comments on their plan.
Yeah.
But the money is budgeted, a project manager has been assigned, and hopefully by the end of the year it will be executed. There are only two areas that will be getting yellow lines from Cheshire East this year because of their budgetary problems, and that's us and Macclesfield Forest.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And are we within budget? Do we have a steer on what that budget entails? Presumably it's that budget, but you've got a vision of how many roads you can do.
I mean, they've got their vision.
Does it match? Yeah.
And they've got their budget for what they think is required.
Yeah.
So our job is to influence them based on the feedback from our residents.
Okay.
But they are the yellow line drawers.
Okay, so we've drawn a line over these parking bays, which I think everyone was quite concerned about. So, well.
I mean, certainly that was one of the things that they were very interested in, and we have raised that with them, but it's not very popular with the residents. But unfortunately, we haven't seen their plan.
Right.
We had hoped they were going to share it with us, but they shared with us the old plan of the old council.
Okay.
But we'll know more after the 15th, and hopefully we'll be able to report back at the next meeting.
Yeah, it's not going to be something we lose control of, that will just run away and then just do their own thing. No, we'll give them a heads up on controlling, parking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, as I said, we get two bites of the cherry. There's our informal consultation,
right,
and then there'll be a formal consultation with residents. But
and the other one I guess was, well, I've got two others. One was about the refurb on Village Hall. I just wondered I know we've got a new roof going on, that's kind of obvious. Just wondered if anything else is happening. I can't see anything anywhere on the council website, and I just wondered, I think yourself here, and who've written or not, you're talking about, the Village Hall and talking it up, and, we have this, whatever we're going to do. I just wondered what those plans were.
So, I mean, we'll have a report from Village Hall Refurb Committee later on. I mean, currently we have a report that was written for the old council, all the issues that the Village Hall has.
Yeah.
And I think probably the plan going forward is to work out what's the next most important thing to look at. But we don't have huge resources to re-kit so we need to pick what we need and then either raise money or allocate money as we go along.
Yeah, okay. I must admit, I think you've missed a bit of a trick. I think that maybe you could have, I guess it's a money constraint, but you could have looked at extending it. And if you extended it and make it more appealing to things like to other events, where as it is, it's so small, it actually, you know, it's kind of not attractive, I should say. So I think that's something that maybe we'll look further down the line. You know, we've got this budget free money, but it is constrained what you can actually do with it. And, you know, the rain is obviously doing her best to raise money from it. But when you're talking about weddings and parties and even wakes, it's just not doing that. You know, and you could maybe have gone to where the bins are or gone L-shaped, or it's one of the smallest village halls in Cheshire, if you actually look at it. So, yeah.
Nothing's
And thirdly, communication. I know this thing, you know, about MailChimp, which we've looked at the club, it's actually quite expensive. We actually dropped it, but I would say Neighbourhood for Pickmere, but we dropped it due to cost. Does that mean there's been a few people that, you know, clicking on a QR code doesn't really work for them if they're elderly? So I think that it would be a shame to walk away completely about, you know, being able to actually see a hard copy of the agenda. And I didn't know, the other part of it was, I didn't know about having that. It talks about people engagement with the community and all that, and have your say. That here we are today in the Pavilion, this obviously isn't a very big room. And does that mean that in the future the thinking is to use that to engage with the community rather than inviting them into actual parish council meetings if we walk away from the village hall for that, but we rent that out 100%?
Right, there's quite a lot there. But I think the MailChimp thing's on the agenda, so I think Nick will explain. I don't think it's for what you described for sending out agendas and
well, I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah, but we'll probably cover that in greater detail. But in terms of this room, I think the maximum capacity is 20 odd. We worked out from the algorithm that you can find online. That actually would contain the maximum number of people who have ever come to one of our parish council meetings.
Right. Okay.
So there isn't a particular issue, as you can see tonight. I don't think there's anyone who can't get in. But I think, you know, we appreciate this is a small room. But having said that, for the drop-in sessions, it was much better to have it here than in the village hall. And I think for small groups of meetings, I think I prefer this to the village hall.
Yeah, I mean, I get partly what you're saying, but there isn't any provision for parking either. And if you've got somebody that's elderly or kind of, you know, not able to walk here, I mean, I've walked here before, it's easy for me, but for somebody that can't actually do that, then you could.
But again, if there are residents that wanted to come tonight and wanted parking, then you know, I've said this before, people just didn't let us know. We had meetings here last night, and we had people coming from outside Pickmere who had to drive, and they let us know and we let them in. Okay. So that's not a problem.
Yeah. So
although the gate is closed, it's not permanently closed. If it's for a village event or a meeting, we can open it. But we need to obviously keep control of it, because once you open it, everyone piles in.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Cool. Anyone else got anything like to add? Okay. So, moving on. Did we get a report from?
But it wasn't any more than you're going to talk about on the agenda.
Okay.
It was the cones, basically.
Oh, right, okay. So we're going to go through that. Okay. Thanks very much. So moving on to finance. So note the current financial position, which is found in Appendix 1. So we had a surplus of £306.85.
Yeah.
This month. Yeah. Extremely well done. Any comments on that? No.
Is that all from the village hall then?
I mean, 350 is the proceeds from the village hall, so there are no expenses associated with the village hall. But
Very good.
I'd rather see it in surplus than a deficit. Okay, everyone happy with that? Okay, moving on. Payments in between meetings need to be noted.
So Cheshire Roofing, so the people who do the roofing build the scaffolding and materials, which parish councils don't usually pay in advance, but as the materials and scaffolding were already there, it's quite usual practice. So they've billed that against the full value of the purchase order, and then there was a refund of a donation that you received.
Okay. Any comments on finance before we move on? No. Okay, so Neighbourhood Plan Working Group report.
Not much to say. Yes, we have a meeting. It's going along.
Okay.
It's progressing.
Okay, so we've got the Lake and IROS Working Group report, but I think we're going to cover that in an agenda item, so is it okay
Yeah, that's fine.
to move that along? And so, Village Hall refurbishment seems
Okay.
of interest.
Yes, we had a meeting on Wednesday. And myself, Alison, Chris and Peter attended. Simon was away this week. So basically we discussed a couple of maintenance ideas. Alison thought that Peter thought that there's a possibility of something being wrong with the piece of wood at the gable end that the roofers had covered up, but they have assured me in black and white that they said that there was nothing wrong with it at all. I actually fetched up the bricks that are blowing at the back of the village hall, and the fact that a cement mortar is being used instead of a limestone mortar, which is actually making the bricks blow a little bit. So I think that's something that we need to look at. I know Peter said it's been like that for a long time, but if you just rub the bricks like that, it's just continuing. And I did have somebody down, a builder down, and he said that by leaving it in, it won't get any better, because every time, certainly with weather as well, it will make the bricks expand even more, and it'll just keep on blowing like that. So I think that's something that we need to look at. And then we discussed the possibility of getting a lottery grant. One of them has gone, the 500 to 5,000, but there is still a lottery grant available for bigger projects from 5 to 75,000. And we discussed that we would have, Alison knows somebody who would come in and would discuss with us how they managed to achieve it. And I thought that we'd get some dates available for us to try and get together and see what they've got to say. I've sent the details to Amanda on the obtaining the lottery grant also, so she can have a quick look at it.
Thank you very much.
And I think I've sent it to you.
Okay, any questions for Jane on that? All right. So we look forward to further updates.
Can I join in?
Of course.
Refurbishment working group. There's a quote to replaster the ceiling at £400. I can do it under delegated authority, but while we're here, you might as well agree it, so that it's all
I think so. It needs tidying.
Did we look at whether the insurers would pay? Is it covered under the...
I didn't, but I can look.
Because it was a leaky roof, you'd think would be covered under...
Yeah, it was a blown pipe, wasn't it?
Oh, blown pipe, yeah.
Did he say when he could do it?
Is
it the 19th still?
he was looking at his diary, but I haven't had a message from him tonight, but I told him I
He
need
said
to
to
know.
me the 19th, oh, I'm just worried that I've got a kid's party the day after.
Okay, so before the 19th?
Well, he said that he could probably do it on the 19th.
I'll chase him up.
It's just, I just worry when there are children running around.
I mean, I don't think it's going anywhere,
It's
but it just
safe,
doesn't look
though,
very nice.
It didn't say it wasn't.
No, it didn't say it wasn't.
No.
No, it didn't.
If, just one thing as well, if you needed photographic evidence of the pipe,
Yeah, when it's taken out.
well, we've got photographic evidence of
Oh,
it
have you?
that is
Already?
actually leaking, yeah,
Oh, great.
for insurance.
Right, okay.
The other thing with the insurance, does that, do you're excess in that, will that, is it worth
Insurance
it?
will go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to sort of weigh that.
Worth it for £400.
I think for 400,
Even if you mention it.
yeah, your insurance will go up by 300 next year and then probably 500 the
Yeah, and you're at the end of your 3-year tie-in this year. So
Yeah.
It's a brand new insurance quote come August. So you would have to
Probably that's probably going to cost us more, isn't it?
It does,
than
it
just
sounds
getting
that.
this fixed.
Okay. So the
no insurance.
the proposal is that we pay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm voting on it, yeah.
First and second.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, good.
We're going to. Those four.
Green.
Okay. Cool. Okay, planning matters. So there are 2 items this month. Land Author Park Lane, Pickmere, prior notification of proposed produce and machinery store. If our planning aficionados have any comments?
So land north of, north.
We've had, they've done a previous application, haven't they, since we've been in post?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was. I think it was slightly just before we.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it was turned down by Cheshire East, the previous application. It went to appeal, and it was turned down at appeal. And they've just reapplied with very little difference other than that they're renting 17 acres of land somewhere else. So there's nothing different about it other than the amount of storage that they require for machinery is less. They're not using the same machines, so it just all seems a bit strange when the business is producing bales of hay and they want to store a silage trailer in there. It just seems a bit odd. And then they quote in there's another building there, but it's on a separate piece of land, and that was the application number was 12/4822M, and that was for a barn as well, and that is a 4-bay barn that is open fronted for the storage of
Machinery.
produce.
Produce, okay.
And 1 bay had a door on it for the storage of farm machinery associated with the land, but that land was 59 acres, so that was approved because it was a decent size of land. Where they want this shed now is 2 acres, 2.5 acres, and they've got 17 acres behind Cop Lodge that they're renting, and they want to put this shed up, and the sheds are not like for like. This is a building like this with the door in the end. So I think we should object again, as the previous parish council did, and also on the grounds that the inspectors chucked it out as well, refused it.
Okay, and the grounds, what did they refuse it on? What's the objection on the grounds of?
The biodiversity, they haven't done any studies on biodiversity and all sorts of things. There's a great big long report on the website of it all.
And you want to object on all the grounds that they were...
Well, if I give you those, that is the one that's current. That's the previous one. That was put in 22.
22, not 12.
And that is the one they're referring to for this prior barn. But there's a heck of a lot of reading to do for the
Okay,
decision made by the planning inspector at Bristol.
that's fine, but you need to tell me as a parish council what you're objecting to. You need to tell me what grounds you're putting in to object. Has anybody? No?
No.
I think my objection would be that the size of the building isn't relevant to the amount of land.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what the inspector said as well.
So the size of the building is disproportionate to the amount of land.
And also, if you look, it is an area of medium distinctiveness in the wildlife plan.
In an area of medium distinctiveness,
Yeah, which we are endeavouring to try and increase to high.
and that's where the actual building's going to go.
Yes. Along with wildlife corridors as well.
Okay, so you're going to object to this new application on the grounds that there's no biodiversity study in the application, the size of the building is disproportionate to the amount of land that it's going to service, and that it's within an area of medium distinctiveness and the wildlife corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and the amount of farm machinery that's being stored down as well is not appropriate for the amount of land that is going on. That was another reason why I kicked it out.
But that comes under the size of the building being disproportionate to the size of the land.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah?
Everyone happy with that?
Okay.
Alright. And then we have this one's Barnesfield Hall Lane, Pickmere. So garage carport. That's an update on our application.
Well, it's in line with all the other barns that have been converted there and the house.
Okay, so no objection.
So that's an open fronted, I think it's a 3-bay garage, with 2 open bays and 1 with closed doors for security of storage. So the only thing there is there's another shed, which is an old railway wagon on the other side of it, as to whether that needs to be removed once they've got this in place.
On their land?
Yeah, we didn't have any legislation over that, surely.
That'd be a temporary object.
Well, it's been there for absolutely years and years and years and years. Since the original farm was there.
Right.
But it's green belt, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why they haven't to apply.
Okay, but you've no objection to carport?
Openness of the green belt.
Not carport.
Not the car. It's not the garage.
Okay.
No, because it's in line with next door's garage as well.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on to reports. So first item is 9.1 IROS lake update.
Okay, well I'll put it under me, but actually you've got the words from good report, haven't you?
So we've got the report. So hopefully we'll have a chance to look at the report, but it seems very comprehensive to me. So we've got the team wants to get through it.
Okay, so we had a meeting and myself, Simon, Nick and Chris was absent, and we went down to the lake and identified where we believe on the erosion area where it needs to be backfilled with what it needs to be backfilled with, which is a soil and clay, which then we will be able to do some planting there. And we identified where we believe that the fencing should go around it, because there will have to be some sort of protective barrier around it. we basically also identified the area. I don't know if anybody wants to have a look at this here.
Yeah, that was it.
Thank you. And oh, sorry, we don't do that. Sorry. Sorry.
Well, no,
Councillors, your hand.
And where the protective barrier will go. I think that we were all, well, at the meeting we were all in agreement. It was recommended that we plant a native species of hawthorn and dog rose, but maybe not until October, when...
Thanks, Jo. Can I just add about blackthorn? It's not poisonous.
It's not blackthorn, it's hawthorn.
Yeah, but if you planted blackthorn...
It's not what we were recommended.
Oh. And you recommended it?
No.
Because it grows actually quicker than hawthorn.
No.
And I know you thought that the fruits were poisonous. They aren't, because it slows.
No, it was hawthorn that was recommended. I got it in writing.
Because that grows so slow, doesn't it?
So to install a protective barrier, protect the newly planted area, and then we would have to put the barrier up for at least 2 years. I think we've had a meeting since and identified. Everybody's seen anything where the 2 trees. It was just a case of, do we go to the second tree or do we go to the first tree? With the you've seen that, Lane, haven't you?
yeah. So are you going to the second tree? Is that the recommended?
Well, I think it's a case of we could all vote on that, really, whether we go to the first or the second tree. But I think we decided that it might be better on the second tree to go at an angle like that.
Was that because there's a path between them?
There is, yeah.
I think so.
People are getting down the side.
Yeah.
It was already forming, and obviously once you lose all the vegetation, the nettles go down. It's just going to be a slip round. So by going to the second tree and going diagonally across, it will give a good protection around there, and hopefully the type of fencing that we're being recommended will. Chap scale fencing will be okay.
Well, is it like a picket fence? Right,
So it needs to be higher, because otherwise...
It's 1.2 metres.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can we ensure, or is there a way that you can ensure that if you take it to the second tree, they can't get round that?
When you can wrap it round the tree.
So there's no way you can make another pathway into that?
I don't think so. And really by then you're getting really into the reed bushes, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine anybody will be wanting...
There's always a risk that someone will ask.
There is.
I think.
Plant a few nettles quick.
But if people are determined to go around the side, they'll go around the side. But I think
we are.
What we looked at and discussed, that second tree definitely looks like a sort of more secure
To make it
place.
difficult to spot.
Or the fence down.
So I think, the only thing that but whether we should have a 4-sided fence.
Yeah, I think that probably would, because we do know, I've got photographic evidence of where people are actually coming down the lake, down the hill, and then they're going along the beachfront and then still coming back into the erosion area and sitting on the stones. So I think we're thinking that if we come all the way, a lot of people who come and do this, like yoga and all that, they sit there and they sit on them. I think they think that's the best photographic place
Right.
to take themselves.
Right.
So we can stop us as well.
Okay. So in terms of this item, so the proposal is that we backfill with the soil and clay, that we plant with hawthorn and dog rose, that we install a protective barrier which goes around the second tree based on the photographic evidence presented. And then the only thing I think we have to
Like the costs?
Yes,
Yes, we've got the costs.
Sheep netting with 2 strands of barbed wire, 34 metres, £586, with stakes at 2 metres, and the plants, 50 containers of native plants, £250.
So I think there was a different quote, wasn't there, for the Cheshire
Yeah,
fence
I think
that he
that
sent
was,
earlier?
it was 700, was it 720? Let me just...
620 plus VAT
Was it
was the... That was the first one he
Yeah.
quoted for,
That
was
was
the
the
Cheshire
first one.
Pale, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what's in the report. And then he later quoted for
And which,
sheep netting.
and which one?
We felt Cheshire Pale was
Yeah.
the better one.
Definitely. It's going to be there for 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're saying that you're only doing it on the land side? Because you
That-
just told
that is
us
just
people walking round.
No, we're saying that we're going to do in
4 sides.
Yeah, 4 sides.
Is that
All
what
right,
the quote?
so
No.
along the front of the stones as well? Or,
We think that, yeah, so along that edge there,
Yeah.
to protect the erosion area from people coming into it off the
Yes.
water.
so they can't use the stones, I'm saying, rather than,
No, you can't put it in the water, can you?
well, it won't be in the water, it's not in the water now, is it? Because the water level's down. It'll only be in the water in winter.
I mean, I think we're going to have to get advice from the contractor as to where they can physically put the
Yeah.
fence along that edge, but
Because it's still going to go and sit on the stones then, aren't they?
Well, no, not if we come in front, not if we come on that side of the stones.
The lakeside and
Yeah.
stuff. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'd be aiming to do, but if
Yeah.
the contractor says we can't get them there, then we'll have to come across the stones, won't we?
It needs to really do it then while the water level's down.
But it actually doesn't matter if someone sits on the stones, it's the going on the stones and then onto the erosion and on the stones and the erosion. Do you know, so if the fence is along the edge of the line of the stones, so they can't get on the erosion land, that's where the damage is happening. But I agree, it's better if we can totally fence off the
Just stop
stones as well.
The stones being used.
If we can, yes, yeah, because we've just got to protect for the erosion.
It just breaks that cycle, doesn't it? If they're still going there,
So
So, sorry, I've not got the original one because that's the latest one I've got, so I thought
It is 620 plus that.
I thought that's what you're going for. How much?
620 plus that.
It's on the email there.
Okay, no, it's okay, it's fine. It's all right now. So it's 620 plus that, so you don't want this sheet netting. Okay.
so that's the 3-sided fence, is that right?
4.
No.
No, that's 3 sides.
Oh.
He hasn't quoted for 4 sides anywhere.
Oh, we're just talking about 4
And
sides.
that's 29 metres. Yeah, but he hasn't been asked to quote for 4 sides yet.
Yeah. He did say that it wouldn't cost a lot more, that's what he said to me.
Okay, so and then we have 250 for the planting.
Yeah. 50 containers which can't be planted till October and need to be watered.
Yeah.
And then for the actual soil and...
That's already paid for. in the
That's already
original.
That's already
part of
paid
it.
for.
Well, it's not already paid for.
Oh, yeah, but it's in the original.
You've already agreed that.
Okay, so
You've got about £400 left to pay on that, I think.
okay, so
Off the top of my head.
if we say 620 is 3 sides, then we need an overage of 250 just to cover the 4th side if it's prorated. So
Yeah, you need another 15 metres, aren't you?
it's not.
It is, yeah. 15, 7, 7.
So it's going to be 44. 13 2 sides of 7. So I get that to be about £940.
Yeah, it's going to be a third more, isn't it?
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, so it's the longest side.
It's going to be a third more.
The longer side is the one
Yeah,
that
because if you've got 15 there and 7 there, you're talking about another third, aren't you?
Would it be possible to have the sheep netting there? The sheep fencing?
Well, I
a bit.
don't know that you could have barbed wire there.
That's what you were just saying before.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, I don't know what the difference is.
It's the
It's the square netting
yeah.
with barbed wire strands on top.
I don't think that you should have that in the water. If kids
You
come.
don't?
No, I don't.
The barbed wire.
No, definitely not. No, absolutely not.
So I think we need to...
Shouldn't have sheds.
Well, we can.
Okay,
Trying to
so
save cost.
It's not very much different though. It's 586
Yeah.
for the sheet netting and 620 for
You're
the.
talking nothing.
I was just talking about the sheep netting at the water at the stones.
Yeah.
The chestnut palings around front because it's more aesthetically pleasing, but I thought if you put the sheep netting with the barbed wire it would deter people from then trying to climb and get in there.
No, but you can't use barbed wire
No.
to stop people. You can only use it to stop animals. I think.
We'd become liable. wouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely not barbed wire.
and the two fences won't be much different costs. So if we say the fence is going to cost us up to 930, hopefully we get a bulk discount. So 930 for protection, 250 for the infill, not for the infill, for the planting.
Planting.
So it gives us 1,180.
Okay.
It's a lot of money, isn't it? Just for people walking through
Yes,
the.
it is, but it's something that's got to be done.
Yeah.
I think the risk is if we don't put the protection up, it's just, we might as well not.
Well, if the footpath starts to crumble into the lake, it's going to be much more expensive than that. And that's where we're heading, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
We'd
is.
have to redirect.
The whole lot, the whole bank could go, I think.
You'd be wasting your time planting anything then, you may as well just then, if you weren't going to pay that and put that up, you may as well just say, well, fine, just let it all go, because there's nothing else. So,
It's got
Do
to
you
be
over
protected.
your limit for just one quote? £750. Doesn't stop you from going, but I'm supposed to try and get you 2 quotes, unless you have a very good reason to go with the contractor that you're going to use.
I think he does more things for the village than against the village, that's just my opinion.
I mean, my thought of getting a second quote would be we've spent so much time on this.
Yeah, let's just get it done.
I think it's,
We need to get it done very quickly.
All we need is a few good days, isn't it? Oh, Andrew, you're not doing it till October, right?
No, we're doing the fencing, it's
Oh,
not the
right,
planting.
But you're ready to do the backfilling now?
Yeah, he's very keen to do it.
Okay,
Sure
so
he
you're
is.
going to continue with a local contractor who's already worked on that area, so you feel it's more appropriate that he continues with it than get somebody new to put the fence around it?
I'm certainly not concerned that it's an overly expensive quote based on he's done a lot of work for us and he's never been an expensive contractor.
We just donated again, just in 10 minutes.
right, so the proposal is that we agree to spend up to £930 on the fence, £250 on planting, and we use the company that have already started the
work
backfill.
there. I would, so if it comes in £1 over that, I can't do it.
Okay.
So do you want to make it £1,300 budget? Because on my calculations it comes in at 940, yours come at 930. There's not much difference, but if he comes over your stipulation, I can't do it till next month. I'd have to come back and get it.
So we'll do that's total 1,300, up to 1,300.
Okay, so that's the budget. That you're going to delegate to me to go with that contractor.
Delegated to you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the next item is we've obviously had a
Still on the IROS?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a donated fence that needs to be hung.
Gates up.
Gate.
Gate. It's a mini fence. The donated gate that needs to be hung. And the cost for that would be £220.
It's mainly because of the ironry that's required to the gate as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is somebody going to propose these two things and
I'll propose
vote about them?
Yeah, we're just talking about it
That's
first.
the one previously, the fence.
We can have a vote if you'd like, Peter.
Yes, I think we should.
I think we should
Okay.
do separate items.
Would somebody like to propose that we have a budget of 1,300?
I'll second it, she's.
Yeah. We have a vote for.
It's just that in the past we've been criticised for not doing this.
Okay.
It's all in the same report, that's why we sort of carried on.
No, but you still need to
Okay.
go through the process, don't you?
So the second one is to agree a cost of £220 to hang the donated gate. Propose seconder. Those four.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't need to minute your proposed and seconders because I don't normally, because you don't have to. You just want to do it in the meeting.
Yeah, that we've had a vote on it and it's,
Okay.
well, it's an audit trail, isn't it?
Not if I don't minute it. As long as you're happy to do it in the meeting,
we've
that's
actually,
fine.
We could point people to the set of minutes that if somebody comes in to audit the accounts, we could then point them to the meeting where that was agreed to spend that amount of money.
I don't normally minute proposals and seconders, but I'm more than happy to. That's what I mean. If you want me to, I'm absolutely more than happy
Just as long as
to.
we've done it.
Yeah.
Normally I don't do
The vote
it.
was taken.
But if you're all right with just doing it and then saying it was voted, that's fine.
I think the standing orders say that we don't normally, but if a councillor wants that recorded.
You can, absolutely, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm more than happy to do it.
Okay. 9.2 is so one of the things that over the last few days, the last few weeks, we had the drop-ins for the yellow lights. I actually thought that was very successful. I actually think this room lends itself towards an informal situation, so I was going to propose that we bring back the council's surgeries and we do them here. I proposed every month. I don't think we did them every month before, so it could be every other month, but I had to start somewhere, so.
I certainly think in the summer, if we're having tea and coffee or something like that, people can sit outside, they can have a chat, then they can come in. I think it's very nice. I think people like it.
Doesn't you have any thoughts?
Other than the fact that we do need to have surgeries, yeah, I think it'd be great.
Okay.
I think it's nice. It's nice and informal. People have a little chit chat.
Are we going to budget for having tea and coffee and provide that, or are we just going to bring it on ourselves?
I think it's me, isn't it?
I think someone else needs to chip in on the okay.
We'll take it in turns.
Yeah.
Maybe if
I'm happy to.
some of the nicer people make really good cake. Bring it on. That'd be great too.
I can't guarantee Mrs. Green will make cake every time.
Okay, so do you want me to send round a sign-up sheet? How many, you're going to have two. You need to have 2 councillors at each surgery just for safety reasons.
Don't you think you need more than 2? Suppose minimum 2.
Yeah. Just for.
Okay, don't want all councillors here.
You don't. That's a bit frightening, isn't it, if you've come to talk to somebody? But I would say on safety grounds you need more than 2. So what, 2 to 3? It's plenty, isn't
We just
it?
said minimum 2 and then.
Okay, so if I send round a sign-up sheet, when do you want to start it?
So I'm proposing the last Tuesday of each month gives us time to bring things to the agenda.
Start July, August?
Yeah.
Happy with I'm happy with August.
Start July?
Wait a minute. Last Tuesday of July is the 30th of July, and then our meeting is the 1st of August, so it's only 2 days later.
Yeah.
So maybe
So
start.
Couldn't be on the agenda.
wouldn't get on the agenda, so do we
We
need to do
need
it?
10 days really to get something on the agenda, don't we?
Yeah.
And you may need a bit of time to look into it and do some work for it. So it's whether we actually do it.
Well then
What about the
maybe
end of
just
August?
tell people that it will probably be on the next agenda, that you can't move that quickly. So if someone comes on at the end of July, it's unlikely it'll be in August, but you will endeavour to have it
Then
in
you've got time to have it on for
September.
September.
Yeah. 4 weeks is okay. I think most people will be
Yeah,
okay with
okay.
that. Okay, so starting in July. Do you need a vote on that, or are you okay with just no financial
So you want to vote?
implications? It's just a... Yeah.
No, I think
Okay.
it's something, it's just procedural really, isn't it?
Alright, taking more room than you.
Time.
7.
Yeah, I prefer 7 myself. Or you? 7.
7 till 8.
7 till 8?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Perfecto. 9.3, Pickmere Press.
Well, I was to consider using Pickmere Press as a publication, send out newsletters and details. Also ties in with using MailChimp. But I guess MailChimp's going to take a while to set up. So you asked me to go and get costings, so it would be 4 editions till the end of this financial year. If you want to do that now every other month, so a total cost of £200 for an A4 page for every month for 4 pages.
And that goes to how many
All households.
houses do we know? So just every house in Pickmere?
£200 a month?
No,
No,
for the
total.
full, for the full cost,
£50.
till the end of the financial year.
That sounds a lot.
So that's 4 copies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to-
Whether you want to use that as a vehicle to...
Personally, I think we need to communicate as much as we can with people. I think that's why I'm proposing the MailChimp thing, but I'm not. I think even if we had MailChimp up and running and working really well, there'll still be people who would benefit potentially from Pickmere Press. So,
Well, the press gets to all the houses, which is like 450 houses, aren't there? So potentially MailChimp wouldn't get that to that many properties, would it?
No, people...
You're giving people the option anyway, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
give them the choice.
Then there's no excuse to say that they haven't been informed of the
and I'd put the details of how to sign up to the MailChimp if we decide to do it on every
Because we
Pickmere
also-
Press, and then we can gradually get.
We also put the Pickmere Press on the notice boards.
Yeah.
At one of the last meetings of the Yellow Lines, though, there was several residents, when Nick sort of mentioned that they really like the idea of the parish council direct sending out emails rather than anybody else, and keeping them informed of anything that's going on.
Well, you can do both, can't you? Because you then have the other people as well who don't even have an email account, that don't even have a computer, because I know people that just like that.
Well, we already worry about residents who don't use Facebook, which is a major communication, and a book. I don't mind about you not using Facebook either.
But there are a lot of people who are saying, even some that don't have a computer.
Yes, yeah.
So I think we're duty bound to try to reach as many people with whatever method we can.
Yeah.
So we're only talking about 4 times this year, right?
That's to the end of
Yeah.
March. I mean,
Did we used to pay £50? Is that what we used to pay? So it's not changed.
It's not changed in a long time.
but I also don't think... I think you don't have to take out 4 if you don't want to.
No.
That would be if you were in every publication from now till the end.
Well, we've got what we do at the parish council meeting. Nick wants to put on about MailChimp and everything. You want to put on about the how to contact the police over parking issues and all that.
Yeah.
Just as reminders. So we've got plenty of stuff to actually put on of information other than
And I think
just us
also
talking.
the chair's update of actions that have been done in fact, it'll be for every 2 months. There's plenty of things each month, each edition, so it's every 2 months.
So
A 2-monthly update on what's activities and what's happened.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Okay.
I think for the rest of this financial year, and then we can review it and see how well it's gone.
Yeah.
So the proposal is that we sign up for our £50 page, I guess till the end of
Financial year.
Yeah.
and do that first. The other thing I would say, as I always do, is I really would like the option to opt out of the paper version, because it really does bug me that we're still killing trees when I already read it online before it even hits my mailbox. So
Oh, I see. So individual households could opt out, you mean?
yeah, I mean
I see.
up in where our offices are, I mean they're put into every mailbox in the offices, and 3 of those offices haven't been inhabited for a year.
Right.
So I think it would be really good if we, personally didn't.
Give people the option.
Yeah, there should be a thing where you can say, please don't deliver it to my house. 'Cause honestly, I've already read it online before it comes.
Well, I have.
That's fair enough.
So, I mean, the other side.
I mean, a lot of
I've got too many
properties
computers.
do have signs up, no junk mail.
Yes, they do.
So that's no deliveries of junk mail.
Well, should we?
I mean, the postman, who gets Domino's pizzas on a weekly basis.
Have you met my children?
Push through your door. The flyers for it all. And that's why the Pickmere's targeted your children.
Encouraging it,
Most kids like pizza.
Yeah, but I mean, the trouble with that
Especially Domino's.
is the postman gets paid extra money to deliver those flyers.
Yeah, it does.
It's all done by Streamline, so you're never going to stop them.
No, but you're getting stuff that you don't particularly want. And the postman actually says, well, if you don't want it, just put it back in the post box and we'll get rid of it.
Really?
Yeah, do
it's
it.
because it's another job for them.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
So should we, I wonder if we should vote on this and then whether we can have a proposal that we ask the publishers
Yeah.
to look into the option of an opt-out.
Yeah.
Okay. Who'd like to propose?
I'll propose that we take out our usual one-page ad.
Yeah, I'll second that, yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll review that at the end of the financial year, just so we're clear on what we're voting on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anyone want to vote on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. And then, just the extension of that is, I propose that we ask the editor to see whether there's a process by which we can get people to opt out and make the motion.
Maybe we could put a bit on the Pickmere press itself for people to take to note, and then they could.
Yeah.
You'll probably find the average price goes up because the price will be based on volume, so if you reduce the quantity, don't expect to get it for the same price.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to print out.
Because that's how printing works.
Yeah, I'm happy to print out my printer for people that want the paper copy if no one wants it.
But potentially, they're still going to do the numbers, aren't they? But not deliver them.
I do agree.
It doesn't actually stop the trees
There is a lot of people
being
who
chopped.
probably have read it. I've always read it, but my mother likes the paper copy. So
I'm not suggesting Pickmere Press should stop having a paper copy because we want it. We want our info to go to people who don't use computers and phones and things.
Social
But
media.
it's just for the option that individual households could opt out of receiving it.
would you opt out?
But I think that's down to the household,
No,
that you can actually
yeah.
put a sign on your house saying, do not deliver to me.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the postman who's delivering Pickmere Press, is it?
No.
It's residents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, so moving on, 9.4, MailChimp. Nick.
Yes. So I used to live in Highley, and I am still signed up to their newsletter that comes out. So Highley Parish Council send out fairly regular newsletter updates. So very similar to what we put in Pickmere Press, really. It doesn't even come out every month, it's a few times a year. And it basically gives information about upcoming events in the village, but then also more, specific things such as road closures because the Tour of Britain are coming through, or there's going to be major roadworks because they're digging up drains or that sort of thing. So it carries useful information for the local residents, and is a voice from the parish council that's specifically owned and controlled by the parish council, so they're not relying on someone else, for example, us relying on Pickmere Press to put out their edition for our information to get out to the village. So what I had talked about was whether we should look at a system for doing that. Highly used MailChimp, lots of other people use MailChimp, so I've looked at it a bit, but Amanda's used it a bit before as well, I think. Basically for up to 500 recipients, it's free. So there's no cost whatsoever unless you're getting more than 500 recipients. I suppose there's a possibility at some point in the future we might go above 500, and I guess at that point we might just have to consider whether we were willing to spend any money on it. But as things stand at the moment, we could sign up for an account for free. There might be a little bit of a learning curve in just setting up, but basically they will give you the tools to put a link on your website so that people can click on the link to sign up for the mailing list. You can, we could have, those details either as a link or as a QR code, could be on our page on Pickmere Press, they could be on our website, on our Facebook site, and MailChimp then deals with all of the GDPR data protection side of things. So people click a declaration to say that they know what they're giving their details for and they're willing to receive the newsletters. And then on every newsletter that goes out, there would be an unsubscribe link so that people could unsubscribe if they wanted to. So, it's cost neutral in terms of using it, certainly for now. I suppose it's possible if you've got sort of, 2 adults in a household that we may have more than one email going to each household. So, but I forget what our electorate is. Adults, it's 650 roughly. I think it's unlikely with every single person signing up. So I would have thought it's unlikely we'd go over the.
Thought the electorate was 7:30.
Yeah, the electorate.
7:30.
The electorate.
Right.
You're still unlikely to go over
I think
500. You'd be doing really well if you've
Yeah.
got 2/3 signing
Yeah.
up for it.
Yeah.
First 650 to first 650 to sign up. Get it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So.
Get it for free.
So I suppose there'll be some work for somebody to set it up. So that might be the clerk, but I'd be willing to learn how to do that and work out how to do it. And then my thoughts are really that you don't want to bombard people, so we'd have to look at how we use it and what actually goes out on it. But I would have thought basically the information that's going out on Pickmere Press would be what would go out on it, and then I guess occasional further updates if there was something important, such as, if in between Pickmere Press dates or whatever we had the drop-in sessions that were at shorter notice or that sort of thing.
I think it would be perfect.
Who manages it? Who would manage it?
Well,
What do you mean by manage it?
Well, if you've got that, you talk about posting things out on it, so
Yeah, with the council.
yeah, so somebody would need to own it, wouldn't they?
It's probably going to be the clerk or Nick who puts it together, and then it will be sent out at a timely point, maybe once every
So there's a cost involved in that, that's what I'm trying to get
No, there's no cost, it's an email, it's only email, it's not a printed version.
Oh, you mean to set it
So
up?
that it's time.
There is time
posting.
cost.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So it would either be
Difficult to say, isn't it? Depends how quick you are on software.
So it'd either be one of our free councillors, or it might involve a little bit of the clerk's time, I guess, in setting things up. So it's not.
Usually, yeah, once you've got the template's the hardest thing to set up, but once that's set up, it's usually quite quick. But I think setting up the template's quite difficult.
I think there'll be a bit of editorial from Facebook and other posts that we can.
I used to do it once every other month, and I'd say it probably took me, once the template was up, I would say it's an hour and a half. I used to get into see the contract.
Okay,
So my proposal would be that we sign up for an account with MailChimp, and we set up our templates and then work out how we want to use it in terms of frequency of mailings and things like that.
okay.
Okay.
Any counter arguments?
I think it's good.
Yeah, I do.
On my left, anyone unhappy? Happy?
No, I've always said that we need to engage with people more.
Okay.
It's just going to take time, isn't it? That
Yeah.
Obviously, when you say about putting QR codes, you've got to have some form of communication to actually tell people what you're doing.
I do actually know this, is that I don't think that the QR codes actually work through the Perspex, because I tried it and so did my friend Caroline, and we tried to download the
It didn't work.
No, it
It was
doesn't.
too thick.
It is, yeah. It doesn't
Work for
work.
me.
Or was it just dirty because it
Well,
worked?
we tried it and it didn't work for us.
Okay,
But-
that's
okay.
not relevant, is it? Okay. All right. So, anyone want to vote on that? I'll be happy just to take that forward as an action.
You don't need to really vote on it, it's just an admin thing. Can I just say the QR code was just something I tried this month. It did go in addition to the agenda.
I liked
It wasn't
it.
supposed to be just a QR code, that's my fault. When I was showing Alison, I didn't mean just the QR code to go up, that didn't explain myself very well. But it was addition to go on top of the
I think it's-
agenda, not to replace the agenda. Which just if anybody wanted the full agenda, which is far too big to go on the notice board, everything else has to come off. People could use it to access the full
7
agenda.
pages.
Pages this time.
Yeah. And 98% of the population has a smartphone, so I do understand there are people who don't have it, and I do understand that people don't have access to it, but 98% of the population has a smartphone, so it hits a lot of people going forward, if not everybody. But we don't have to use it, it was only a trial.
And to address your concern, Dan, we're not talking about this being a way of us sending the agenda out.
Right.
The agenda will still be posted as it has been up until
Yeah,
now. This is
on
an
the website.
addition to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go forward with that. So the next item is volunteer gardening group. I think in my mind it was probably wider than this.
What happened originally to start that off was my email request to you and Amanda that we wanted to have the back of the village hall cleared of all the weeds, because it's normally been done voluntarily each year, and the weeds were getting higher and higher and higher, and that is a major cause of dampness as well to the brickwork. It was to cut that down. 1 or 2 people said yes, we'll help you do that. And then the issue that we had in the playground where the fence was being damaged, and we wondered if we cut a lot of that undergrowth down so that there was clear visibility from the people in the playground and walking past the playground, that they could see if the vandals were attacking the fence and pulling it down. But that's since been done, because you said you were going to plant some more shrubs there to block access to the fence, and then it was just the clearing of the pathway, but only the pathway, because we'd already discussed in council that Buttercup Way was going to be cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just to ensure that the pathway was made clear as someone was approaching and it was getting overgrown. The village hall, the rear of the village hall has now been cut down anyway. But I didn't get a response, and then Amanda said, oh, I'll put it on as an agenda item. So whether it is an agenda item or not, I don't know. My only concern when I saw it on the agenda was it says clearing rubbish.
I thought that's what was around the back of the hall.
Well, it was undergrowth. It was massive, great big weeds and nettles and all sorts of undergrowth that grows there. And it was up to the window.
It's not actually rubbish.
It's not rubbish, it's just undergrowth. Greenery.
So the way I took this
It's not a garden.
is, I think it probably isn't the guy. What I think we need here is we have a volunteering policy. People can sign up to volunteer, but I think what I thought would be good is to avoid having to come back to council every time we have an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I would propose that what we do is we say any volunteering work that must be done, that as long as a councillor presents that to the clerk and the chair and they're happy, then that can go ahead without coming back to council. If the clerk and or the chair are not happy, then it will come back to council.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I think that'd be brilliant, because various volunteers have said to me, that's a blooming mess, can we do something about it? So now, if we're given the go-ahead, then yeah.
Are you all right to leave that?
Yeah, sure.
But we have had other people volunteer to repair the fencing. Concerned residents have.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get away from concerned residents. I think it has to involve a councillor to lead and propose to the clerk and the chair, and then.
I mean, they did a very good job, but I thought at the time that
obviously not as good a job as I did, but obviously. I mean, I've had years of experience on that fence.
regularly.
I'm running out of fence space, so I'm going to have to buy some of this one, much to my wife's glee. Okay, so that's my proposal.
Yep.
Anyone against? Cool.
Nope.
Moving on. Traffic cones.
Well, so the donation's been received from the residents who raised money. It seems unlikely, Councillor Hague is chasing for us, but it seems unlikely that Cheshire East are going to sell you any cones, so that you would have to buy them privately. And the cost of the cones are in the appendix, depending on what size and what height you would like.
Well, I do know that if you buy small cones, they just get stolen.
We do have a phone somewhere.
Yeah, well that,
I put it in there.
and I put some of them out and 2 got stolen straight away. The small ones like this.
But to be fair, the big ones get stolen too.
Well,
For the
those,
first year, according to Simon, we lost nearly half of them.
yeah.
So I don't think size is important here, Jane.
Weight is. Weight is, you get the really heavy ones.
Them big heavy ones.
The big heavy ones haven't been stolen.
No, they haven't.
They're still there. Yeah.
Alright, so we've had the notion of funds,
Noted.
it's not it's cash neutral to us as a village. So I guess the proposal is that we purchase some cones
The heavies.
and then decide.
So the big ones you're talking about, Jane, then it's 22 that we could afford with the money we've got. Whereas you could have up to 40 if you have the small ones.
Those are the 750 ones.
The 750 ones, yeah, you get 22 for just under £300.
I mean, there are probably some other places we could probably get cheaper. But I think the principle of just get the best thing we can and get as many cones as we possibly can. And it seems like we want to have bigger than, Jane wants to have bigger than smaller.
You'll also have to come and pick them up at these prices.
Yeah.
But that's why I went for Screwfix, because there's lots of them.
Yeah.
Happy to go and pick up some cones. Okay?
So what are you buying?
Big or small.
I think it sounds like the consensus that we want to go for the 750s.
I thought that at the last parish council meeting we'd had agreed to accept the donation and to buy the cones. So,
That's what we do.
You did, but I didn't know how many you could get for the
okay.
donation.
So we've already agreed to buy them. haven't we?
You agreed to use that,
Well,
just deciding which ones.
Which ones and who funds.
Yeah.
Right.
So it sounds like we'll go for the 750 ones,
Or half and half. Big and small.
Oh,
but then the small ones get stolen quicker.
They do.
I'd go for the big one.
So go for big ones and we'll just do a quick internet troll, see if we can get a better price than Screwfix. As much as I love Screwfix, although other DIY shops do exist. Okay, so everyone's happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you to all. The next item on the agenda is for Councillor Marshall to discuss installing broadband in this wonderful pavilion.
Well, to be honest, because we are going to be using it a bit more, I just thought it would be more enticing for people if they have the broadband. But Amanda's been looking into it, and we think there might be a possibility of going for a grant.
yeah, Cheshire East has just brought out funding for digital, I can't remember what they called it now.
Yeah.
Digital.
Outreach or something was it called? Or
And
something?
it will cover the cost of
Bringing
putting broadband into centres such as this.
So rather than sort of do anything about it now, we're going to try and inquire about the grant. But, you know, do people want Wi-Fi in here? Or?
I think
That's what I'm saying, I don't, to be honest with you, see the point. Because in the winter, because of the water system's drained down, so nobody would be sort of perhaps wanting to use it in the cold winter months. So it would only be a
There's no
summer.
heating, is there?
So there's no
Well, we've
heating.
got some heaters, haven't we?
So that's
Yeah, but you'd have to still drain the water down at the beginning. It always has been done.
I think if you can get it for free though, why would you not?
I mean,
That's just my opinion.
I think if you,
If you get it for free, don't you still have to pay rent?
you'd probably still have to be paying.
Nothing
Pay rent.
Yeah, you pay
Like
monthly charge.
monthly charge.
I don't know what the funding includes, but quite often it's the actual installation and maybe 12 months, something like that. They'll also, the other thing that they might do that I wrote to ask about was whether they'd consider the Wi-Fi being thrown further, so it's being thrown externally, so that if you have any problems at the lake, people can at least get a signal or get in touch with somebody or contact, because I believe that the phone reception around here is pretty bad.
It is.
So, I mean, you'd have to have signs saying that you could use it. It would probably be within proximity of the pavilion, but it just gives you...
I see a few. I agree. I worry about cost versus benefit. So I think we'll need to look at that maybe when we know what the costs are.
I've just written out the details, yeah.
But in terms of potential benefits, I think increased ability to use this as for meeting space for us or rent it out. I think people like having the Wi-Fi at the hall, don't they?
They do.
I think potentially the benefit of increasing communication around this area, but other things like I was chatting to the pizza guys when they were here and they were struggling to use their card payment device because they don't have very good phone reception here and there's no Wi-Fi, whereas at the village hall
that is the one thing that it would benefit as well when we have functions on here, like Fun Day. Like Party by the Lake, that any retailer then can use their whatever they are.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I've had inquiries about using this. I've got somebody who's...
Are we able to though, because we don't pay rates on it?
I don't know, we've just been discussing it.
No rates paid on it, it's not a rated building.
I don't think it's a problem, but I will look into it. I have worked at a place where the village hall paid no rates, and it was rented out, but I will double check.
I know normally that's if religious services go on there, but this building was originally just classified as toilets when it was built. It wasn't just
a kitchen.
Yeah,
it was just classified as toilets because they replaced the toilets that were here, and the classification then was.
I thought it was down as
and they asked Virginia asked them as well. Could they then add a room on? So hence that was why this got added on as a favour from the builder.
Okay. But to be honest, I would have to look at all this before. I've not had a reply from the funders because it only came out 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? So I've written to ask in what it is they'll provide and whether
we need some
parish council's eligible.
Sorry, one other thought that I'd had as well, the Wi-Fi is in terms of CCTV cameras and things like that. If you've got a Wi-Fi system, obviously, then you can have.
Got CCTV.
There is CCTV.
I know there's no distant access to it. Do you know what I mean?
Recording here, isn't it?
So it's recording here. Yeah. So if you've got Wi-Fi CCTV, people with access can potentially look at what's going on when they're not here by accessing the cameras and things. So there are potential security benefits and potential sort of public safety benefits of that as well. Not that our current system, I think, allows that, but in terms of looking at future developments.
I just think it's a nice building.
It's a great building.
We need to, if possible, make the most of it, like the village hall. Like I say, I don't know about the rates thing, but Amanda will look into that.
I mean, I agree with Alison with that if you do end up having to pay rates, then I think that's something that would really...
if you were hiring it out.
Yeah, it would be sort of...
But there'd be no reason why,
but if you end up paying rates, you then want the building to be in use toilets in the year.
Of course you would.
So you've got to do something about a heating system.
No water. Did you say
we get the water gets
switch off when it's freezing?
Yeah.
But it's turned off because there is no heating.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it was being used more regularly, then it would be retaining the heat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Can I just say something regarding the water? You can get trace heating installed, which puts if the temperature drops below a certain, I think it's 3 degrees, it kicks in. The pipes have got a wire around them, and it just constantly, because I've had that done after it went down to -10 the other year. So it's just dormant most of the time. The temperature drops below 3, it puts this very, very low voltage, whatever it is, out. It stops the pipes from freezing, so you don't have to drain them down.
It would be very low energy actually, that, because it'd be
Very
like
low
having your heated seat on in your car. That doesn't use.
Yeah, it's very low energy.
Okay. So
I'll just look at the funding and chase them up and see what we can find.
We'll bring it
Come back because if there's any funding, I'll apply for it
Thank you.
and see what they come back
I
with.
don't think there's any harm in applying for funding. No. At all.
Actually. Okay, so we'll leave that with the clerk to follow up on the items discussed. Is to review a request from a resident to lease part of the parish's land. So it's part of the IROS. So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that.
I'm not in favour of leasing any land and losing control of it, really.
No. I'm not either. Added to the fact as well that it is also an area of high distinctiveness and wildlife corridors again, which is something that we're trying to maintain, look after and ensure are protected.
Yeah, it's high, that one, isn't it?
It is high, that one, yeah.
Yeah. I think possibly the administration to do that would be another job.
We'd have to get contracts
That's
drawn
what I
up
mean,
and-
you've got your contracts and all the
We'd
rest.
have all the legal aspects and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would set a precedent that might.
snowball.
Well, my only thoughts on it on now is that I've already been asked by a second resident, if you rent that, can I rent another part of the land?
We're not
Today,
into
so,
land rental.
I mean, the IROS.
You know, it's sort of like it opens
Okay,
it.
so the IROS.
That was my initial thoughts.
It'll open the
Everybody who
floodgates for
backs
everybody who wants
onto the
something.
parish council land will want a piece of it.
Okay. So I think, yeah, I mean, the IROS is an open recreational space, so if people did lease it, it would come with the covenants on the land,
Yeah.
and we'd all still be able to walk over it. So
Yeah.
personally, I don't really see the advantage of leasing something that somebody can still walk over.
One man's eyesores, another man's
Yeah, okay, so
adventure park, isn't it?
maybe. I guess so the proposal is probably wider than this, so I guess the proposal is, are we as a council happy to lease part of our land?
Any part at any time.
Any part at any time? So I think,
I think that's very general, but when specifically talking about this one piece, maybe in the future there may be some reason to do something.
Yeah.
well, the council can always come back.
Yes.
Yeah. But if
You're
we
not
just
supposed
say,
to overturn it in 6 months, are
No.
you? So if you tighten yourself down.
yeah,
Yeah, I think there was
I
that's the other
think
thing.
it's the agenda item is that particular piece of land.
Could be wanted to be used for something else.
You're not prepared to lease that piece of land, that's fine.
Okay.
So
Just
I
opt not
think
to
we
lease
just
it.
stick with that piece of land.
Yeah, I've got enough. You've
But
got enough.
so that would be, if we've already had someone else gone, right up your stand, what we can do, spend the next 6 months having one person after another coming to us if they can lease a piece of our land.
No, but if you say we are never leasing any of our land ever, that's very different.
Yeah.
If you say that you are not leasing part of your land, then if somebody comes to me, I will say the council has said that no, we're not doing this in the future.
So the
You're not
proposal
going to
is,
lease any part of the IROS, are you?
can't see how we can.
What do you think? Still too much.
Yeah. No, just that particular piece, isn't it?
Okay, so the proposal is that we don't lease piece of land that's been previously released.
Exactly.
Okay. So I think we should probably have a vote on this. So proposal,
I'll propose.
second that. Okay, so those against leasing? Is that against? You don't have to vote so.
No, I don't think I'm probably for it. I think it's just that
Okay.
it's put forward.
Alrighty. I apologise, I might have stolen your thunder.
It's
But
fine.
can you give us an update on the booking, the excellent bookings that we
Well, to be honest, we just seem to be getting more and more. We've had lots of, of inquiries. I've got a few coming up. So it's becoming difficult particularly for Alison, I suppose, with the neighbourhood plan. But I've got people wanting to take those spots.
Right.
And it's difficult. There's a couple of dates, one of the dates is in, but there's a couple of dates coming up. And I'm sort of torn because they're wanting the spots. And we're going for something that's not going to bring any revenue in. Now, I know that on the night you're only talking £12, but that £12 rolls into like twice a month. And also, you know, looking at June, we did 36.5 hours. July, there's a possible 52 hours. Not definite yet, but a possible 52. It's going to take us over £500 because we've got 120 from today for the thing, which is a really, you know, my aim is to try and hit at least what we're paying out. So we've got an asset that we're paying bills on, and this
It's being used.
I
Yeah.
mean, so if I'm looking from a business point of view, if I'm looking to rent somewhere and I go somewhere and you say no, it's very unlikely I'm going to come back and ask you again.
I know. Well, I haven't, you know, I've just said, I'll get that. There's something.
Can the neighbourhood plan group, is this generally 2 or 3 of you? Could you not have it at somebody's house, that there's only that many of you?
It's 5 of us, but we have invite people in.
Well, could you have it in here?
Well, that's where I was going with the Wi-Fi, you see.
But
why couldn't we?
Because we only use the Wi-Fi to connect to the TV, so that we can use the TV screen and I can show the other members of the group
if we had a TV
the plans that we're up to. But that's an awful lot of expense when essentially all we're asking for is 2 hours a month.
But I tell you what it is, the problem is it's not 2 hours a month. If you're taking a Tuesday and somebody wants a Tuesday, or a Wednesday, but they want every Wednesday, then it actually then is actually 4 Wednesdays, isn't it? That's my point, from my point of view. If somebody wants
is it not possible then that the spirit group can come here? They don't use Wi-Fi or TV.
Well, they like that. They like it in there. So
it just seems to me that it's, you know, it's a council owned, it's a parish council building for use by parish council or whatever, and we can't use it.
But
you can't. What I'm concerned about is us trying to get the revenue in, and I totally get it's only £12, but it's not only £12 because that person wants to take both Wednesdays a month, and the spirit group wants to take 2 Wednesdays a month.
So there would never be a Wednesday for us.
Probably not, to be fair. But
well, I did notice that when it was the sound bath, she'd only booked it till I think it was 6:45. So
no, it starts at 6:45.
The sound bath. She was doing something from 5:15 to 7:15 one night.
Well, maybe I put it in wrong. It's not. It's a later one. No, it's later. It finishes at either at 8 o'clock or 8:15.
8:15 it finishes.
Yeah.
But I have to say, having been to a neighbourhood plan meeting, that television is so small, it's of little consequence at all.
We do manage to use it because of help.
Okay. But
Diane, do you agree? Or?
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, there's 2 ways of looking at it as far as renting out the hall. To me, you know, we're charging at the moment, £8 an hour. So if you're trying to, I don't know what the expenditure is per month, but you could always raise, you know, your cost to rent the hall to £9, and obviously then you can make more money. That's another way of doing it. So to cover your overheads, because presumably you're looking for a break-even situation, aren't you? You know.
But then,
what does it take to cover the costs? Is it rented out 40 hours at £8 an hour? Is it rented out 50 hours? So I'll just say.
For me, there's a balance here between acting as a councillor for the benefit of the majority of the village, and acting in a different way. And for me, I can't honestly see where I would allow pro bono use of the village over making money to cover those assets. And my example of that would be, today the village hall has been used as an election thing, and we've moved ourselves here. You know, there was a little bit of squealing and moaning, but I don't think this is a bad venue for a council meeting, and we've achieved what we need to achieve. And every meeting I've had in here in the last couple of weeks has been great. So I think if this didn't exist, I might take the argument that there are some times when the council should take precedence over payment, but this place does exist.
Sorry, can I just have one question? Is the TV in the village hall used by anyone else for anything else? Could we just move the TV here? And then this venue would still work for the neighbourhood plan meetings? And actually the TV in here is a better fit for the size of the room than the TV in that big room in the hall. And then we could look at, in future, funding a bigger screen in the hall maybe, but... does anyone else use the TV?
No.
It's not aware.
Would that work, Alison? I mean, I realise in winter it's
I was going to
complicated.
say,
Yeah,
we
winter
wouldn't be
is
using it in the winter. I'd feel cold anyway, so I wouldn't be wanting to hold a meeting here or expect any of the visitors to come.
So I suppose, for me, the neighbourhood plan's an important project that's ongoing. But I suppose what is the cost of using that slot in the village hall if using it once a month potentially means we miss out on twice a month or even 4 times a month use?
The only negotiation then, suggestion I can come up with is you let me know what dates that they want to book, and if we can reorganise.
Can you, I mean, there are always ways around it, and I've looked at it, and I'm happy to sit down with you and go through, you know, but does it have to be 7 o'clock? I think because of Simon and Jen, is it? They work.
So it's got to be in the evening.
Yeah, we could, daytime meetings would be ideal, but we can't when Jen...
But they don't always go, do they?
No.
Jen does.
Yeah, Jen does.
Does she? Yeah, she does.
So you can't change the time. You can change the day of the week maybe, but not the time.
Not really time.
So the question is, could you change place? So this is a potential option at times. What about, in terms of offsetting, would it be cheaper for the neighbourhood plan group to hire a different room somewhere else? Would that cost less than what we miss out on income?
That's what I was just going to suggest. Around at the Baptist Church, would the council actually fund that on the times that they can't accommodate us at Village Hall?
No.
As winter goes on.
I thought that the neighbourhood plan got funding.
Can I just say that
Not yet. Probably not for that sort of thing.
For it. You can apply. I think you can.
Mondays and some Thursdays, there's Zumba only till 7:30. So
You could start at half.
start at 7:30. Which you were doing anyway.
That's a good idea.
If you didn't want to come here.
And would that...
Does that happen every week though?
Yeah.
I thought it went on till 8 o'clock.
No, it's on by 7:30, 6:30 till 7:30.
We don't normally get to go to 7:30 anyway.
But Thursday, obviously, we normally have the parish council meeting up there once a month, don't we?
Okay, so
I'll take it back to the group and suggest to the group that we
And I'll
offer whatever we
speak to
can.
Leanne tomorrow, who is the sound bath girl.
Oh right, yeah. We'll see let us know what date she wants.
Well,
from
she
the ones
just
that I
asked for a
proposed
few and I
today.
said, I just need to come back on it.
But in the summer, if the TV was moved, we could...
You could use this in the summer, yeah. If it's
I don't see a problem with that.
You can hotspot off your phone for a telly. You'll be fine. You can get a signal if anyone's got.
Yeah, I was going to say.
okay, so we can look at moving the TV. And I think
I'll speak to the group and see what they say.
And I'll bring the Wi-Fi back next month with more information.
So if you let me know what Wednesdays we planned, what ones we can't.
Okay. I'll find out how much... It's like a 10-week course. now, so I'm fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll leave that with you. Next item is just to confirm the date for the next meeting is Thursday the 1st of August 2024.
Okay.
In the hall.
Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
We'll be back in the village hall, brand new roof. And I'll have another day of live streaming the meeting. Okay, so thanks very much for all our visitors this evening. Very nice to see you.
Thank you.
And,
Unless there was a first.
we've now been